One of the best live recordings ever. Some of the best live cuts on this album, on just this live set alone. This was the most famous, iconic, extraordinary period. That was Bob Dylan's 1966 Manchester World Tour. I'm talking about Bob Dylan's Bootleg, Vol.4, from the Royal Albert Hall, live from 1966. Can you believe that? How long ago was this? 57 years. That's right, folks, 57 years. And this bootleg is almost 25 years old. This came out October of 1966, or October of 1998, when Bob Dylan's, his fourth volume bootleg came out or whatever. So yeah, this was done, really technically, this was actually live from the Manchester Free Trade Hall, you know what I mean? But on the bootleg, they called the Royal Albert Hall. It's 95 minutes of great joy. You get that first, you got that first section there with all acoustic, and then you got the second half, which you bring in the Hawks, the band or whatever would eventually be the band, and just amazing set of songs that they throw out here. It's amazing. I'm trying to see. I'm on this Bob Dylan site here. I'm trying to see where it charted. I don't know if this bootleg in particular got was charted. I don't believe so, but anyways, yeah, it's just fantastic stuff. A little bit of info here about this period of time of Bob Dylan. 1966 was a humongous year. Dylan was recording probably one of the best, if not best, probably everybody else's top favorite, right up there, 2 or number 1 or whatever, the top 3 best albums of Dylan for sure is, Bring It All Back Home, Highway 61, and of course The Great Blonde on Blonde. It was at the time where he was recording all that great stuff at the time, and then we hit the late part of spring where he was doing this world tour, this big gigantic tour in 1966. And just within a month before he got into his motorcycle accident, and you know how the story goes after that, But Dylan here was absolutely at his highest, at his biggest peak at the time, He just came out with Rainy Day Woman, which was a number 2 hit on the Billboard chart. I mean, it was at number 2 at the time that Monday was at number 1. So you can just see just the difference of the change and the flow of the music at the time. You know what I mean? You had the Beatles, you had the Rolling Stones, you had the Mamas and Papas, then you had Bob Dylan, then you have Dylan. It's just incredible. Once you have him in the picture, it's just so different. You know what I mean? In fact, this bootleg was actually ranked 989 of the 1,000 albums. You know what I mean? Apparently Elvis Costello named it his 500 favorite album. Apparently, so that's kind of funny. Of course, this has been praised many of times. You know what I mean? So this kind of became the the Judas concert, whatever, and apparently there's been, of course, thousands of rumors, but I think we can all clarify, or we can kind of distinctively hear Dylan say, "Play effing loud," that whole thing, whatever. Of course, it may have been Dylan, I'm pretty sure, or some bonehead that was out there at the time, or some bonehead in the crowd or whatever. Yeah, so this is kind of the infamous Judas everyone goes, oh, Dylan sort of sold out, and Dylan went electric, so everyone was kind of all against Dylan. Everyone was shaming on him. Shame on you for, you're supposed to be our voice of our generation. You're supposed to. But as Dylan always clarifies, and he always talks about every time, I'm not who I am. And so he performs live on here. It's all over now, baby blue. You know what I mean? Just, well, anyways. Now, originally, now I kind of want to go into the roots of the album here, or at least like how this was released originally back in the day. Apparently, the electric side, or I think, or maybe just this whole concert alone. I'm trying to actually read up on this. Yeah, I think it's just the electric side. Apparently, there's been a bootleg of the actual live concert, or the actual live set of when Dylan and the Hawks or whatever, back in 1971, I believe. And I think Cream magazine kind of talked up on the this, oh, you got to get this, there's this bootleg out with the live 1966 electric concert of Dylan and the Hawks and whatever, blah blah blah. But of course now we can actually see clear footage of this. I believe since the No Direction Home movie, which was done by Martin Scorsese or whatever, you can actually see you can actually see the actual, the footage that they, kind of cleaned up or whatever. And you can actually hear the person yelling out, Judas, and of course the play effing loud part. But, yeah, it's just fantastic, I think it's definitely one of the best, definitely for sure. Absolutely incredible. May 17th of 1966. Although some say it's June the 21st of 66, so I think it was definitely done in May of 1966. Now before I go on with the songs here, just to kind of quickly get through them. Back in, I believe sometime in 2017 or 2018. I'm pretty sure some of you hardcore Dylan fans might remember this release for sure. But this came out maybe like 6 or 7 years ago or something like that. This is, and I think there's like 34 discs in total. But this is an official box set of all of Bob Dylan's live recordings from 1966. There it is right there. Yes, if you are a lunatune, if you're a lunatic, you're insane for Dylan, you love Dylan, you're a hardcore listener of Dylan, there you go. Pretty sure some of you guys might have remembered that. But anyways, so let's go ahead and get to the songs here. The first one, I love this first beginning here. Dylan comes out. This is the first 7 songs. It's a total of 48 minutes of him performing the acoustic side here. And he does She Belongs to Me. What an excellent song. That was from, Bring It All Back Home or whatever. My love for this, and this is definitely one of my favorite things of Dylan here. And sometimes, not all the time, I always seem to kind of think, well, I don't know, maybe you should just perform it like how it was, like the way you recorded it back on the album. But most of these recordings definitely have a bit of a, you know what I mean? That's the only thing, a little bit about Dylan that he may be a little bit on the fence about, is that, whenever he does songs live, you know what I mean? Sometimes he throws in an extra verse, or sometimes he switches the verse, or or maybe the lyrics are changed up a little bit differently, or sometimes he performs in a different key or chord or whatever, But I think that's a special thing about Dylan. I mean, I need to kind of, I kind of need to get on I need to kind of get into his live stuff a little bit here. I mean, don't get me wrong, this was an excellent live set, excellent live, just excellent live recording here. But you know, I always seem a little bit, yeah, off a little bit sometimes. But this is an excellent way to open up this, just, you know what I mean? You know, give her gifts on, you know, Christmas and Valentine's, you know. Give her that trumpet, you know, or whatever, you know. um, Great. And then next up, he does Fourth Time Around. That's from Blonde on Blonde. It's just excellent. Man, she's throwing me out in the dirt. I love that line, you know what I mean? Then he does Visions of Johanna. The crowd is gasped once they know that, oh my God, what is Dylan gonna do with, oh my God, you know, oh man, isn't it just like the night? You know what I mean? He talks about Louise. You know what I mean? These visions of Johanna are all that remain. That last verse, that last line. What a great live. Just one of the most greatest versions of Visions of Johanna. Just that ride that takes you into just the song, you know. And it's all over now, baby blue. Oh, it's all over now, baby blue. But when he does it, he's just like, he has that passion, that like, you know what I mean? I just love it. I love the cadence of his vocal style, and just it's all over now. And oh my God, Dylan does Desolation Row. Incredible song. What does need to be said about Desolation Row? It's one of the most greatest, I think one of the most greatest songs ever written, I think, in my opinion. Just Like a Woman, just like a woman. I love this live version. It doesn't even sound like what it sounded like on Blonde. Like something, like, you know what I mean? Like there was a little quick change up in just that song, you know what I mean? Like, it's unbelievable. And then the last song he does to end it off is Mr. Tambourine Man. Just the crowd is clapping and cheering, and we get Mr. Tambourine Man. Man, just fantastic songs, you know. My boot heel seems to be wandering through the sands of time. Oh, man. Play a song for me, Mr. Tambourine Man. Fantastic. Then we switch over to the Hawks, and we get a total of 8 tracks here with a total time of 47 minutes. This first one here is called Tell Me Mama. I never heard of this, but this is great though. You can hear the reverberation, just that large hall that they're in. You can just feel the vibration, the echoes. Definitely a fun song for sure, you know. He does I Don't Believe You, She Acts Like We Never Met. You know, just she let go of my hand. But he does it in a different rocking style. You know what I mean? Like Robbie Robertson's in there. You got Garth with that organ, you know. It's just once again a fantastic cut of that song. Baby, let me follow you down. Baby, let me follow you down. It's another great song that he just, what? Once you hear this live recording, it's like, whoa, it's like a whole nother song. Yeah. Just like Tom Thumb's Blues, of course, that was from Highway 61. What a great live recording of that, right? And by the way, Mr. Tambourine Man, I just want to go ahead and, I know I'm not talking a lot about the harmonica here, but the harmonica solo holds it in. He holds in just the harmonica for like a minute and a half or something like that on Mr. Tambourine Man. He's gushing his soul into that, you know what I mean? And even Baby Let Me Follow You Down with that harmonica, oh my God, just brilliant. Leopard skin pillbox hat, you know, you know what I mean? It's like balancing a bottle of wine, your leopard skin pillbox hat. Just love that, man, with his that blonde on blonde, you know, that romantic, that longing, that attractive, you know, you know, whatever, pleasury, you know. One Too Many Mornings. Oh man, 1,000 Miles Behind. the dogs are gonna lose their bark. They're gonna lose their bark, man. God, man, I just love it. Like, he just sings it with passion. He knows what he delivering those lyrics. It's great. Ballad of a Thin Man. Then we get the last two giants here. Ballad of a Thin Man and Like a Rolling Stone. Man, you walk into the room with a pencil in your hand. Isn't that one of the most greatest lines in that song? There's just that opening line. Do you, Mr. Jones? The one-eyed midget. Now, see, you know, you kind of look at the lyrics and stuff on, you know, because I was listening to this on Spotify. And you can tell Dylan is saying something different than what the song's supposed to be. Like, you know, like I've mentioned already, you know, sometimes like, well, he added a different lyric to that, you know what I mean? So it sounds a little bit, you know, like, oh, what, you know. Then we get Like a Rolling Stone, one of the most greatest, I think definitely one of the most amazing live cuts of the song, you know. And, you know, we all know what happens after that. But anyways, I didn't want to make this video too long, but what a fantastic fourth volume. It's amazing how the next volume they come out with is the Rolling Thunder. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to all these bootlegs that come, you know, further on. And, you know, what can I say? It's just fantastic. Love it. This fourth volume here, great. I enjoyed it, man. Fantastic. Okay, folks, bye-bye.